One of the things that human beings all experience is fear. And fear can be a game changer. It can take the most qualified, most prepared, most someone who has the most advantages in any type of competition. And once you introduce fear, or if that person allows their fear of failure or whatever may be, once they allow that fear to permeate their situation, and they start to lose focus, then you've got a decided advantage over that competitor. So I went back in 2003. I wrote an article in a local drag racing, a national drag racing publication, and it was called Erasing Fear and Gaining Control. And I just wanted to read briefly some notes that I found. I had to really dig into my storage locker and find this, but I just want to share this with you all real quick. So bear with me. It says, fear is a primal emotion that we use far too often. It can be destructive and debilitating, and it can produce serious physical and emotional problems. Now, fear can be a good thing as long as we use it as a counselor and not a jailer. Okay, so there's two types of fear that I want to talk about briefly. The first is chronic fear. If we're not careful, chronic fear may become our everyday companion. Chronic fear, a long-term condition, is associated with big issues. You know, the persistent fear that another terrorist attack will take place, the economy will falter, or you may come down with an incurable illness. Now, a lot of people walk around afraid of many things. Chronic fear slowly and consistently wears on certain people. It eats away at their psyche and can have psychological as well as physiological effects. Now, the second type of fear is acute fear. This is that immediate situational fear. Like pulling up to the gates if you're getting ready to drop down in a course, if you're going snowboarding, if you're going to go into a border cross race or a bank slalom race, you get the blood is pumping and your heart beat is racing. You know, that's acute fear, immediate situational fear, fear of encountering an aggressive adversary, maybe public speaking. You know, some people are scared of public speaking, and you get that immediate rush. And this type of fear can create instant havoc on our minds and bodies. Intense and immediate fear has a transforming effect. Heart rate can double, like I said. Respiration rate increases, like I said. The digestive system shuts down. Blood flow increases. Muscles around arteries contract. Blood vessels expand. Chemicals are released into the body that allow a person to withstand more pain, and blood coagulates quicker in anticipation of injury. That's all very interesting stuff that I had found out. I see two problems with regarding intense and immediate fear. First, in this state, like reaction times do not improve. So why do we want to have a quick reaction time? Obviously, you know, with my type of racing, with drag racing, I have a competitor in the other lane, and the quicker that I can react to the starting line, to the starting line flash of the lights of the Christmas tree, that means I can get out in front of that competitor. I react to the flash of the start, and I can get a good start, which gives me an advantage over my competitor, where I can get to the finish line first. So when you have fear, that does not help you to increase your reaction time. Second, brain function drops to lower brain activity. And that's a more primal part of the brain. And given choices, a person will increase the number of bad choices. So to put it simply, you get stupid. And have you guys ever heard the term brain fade? You know, and we as racers, we all have brain fade at one time or another. I remember some of my competitors, they would go out and, you know, they'd be number one qualifier, meaning that, you know, they got the fastest motorcycle out there. They put together the best run in qualifying, which put them in a position to race the slowest qualifier in the first round. That's how the ladder is stacked. Number one would race number 16. So you've got a decided advantage But that quicker guy or girl went out there and just had this immense brain fade right at the start. And the 16th qualifier, the slowest qualifier, actually took out the quickest qualifier. I've seen it happen so many times with brain fade. And that's all because of anxiety and fear that we allow to creep into our preparation. So it should be obvious that two things that a snowboarder or a border cross racer needs are quick reactions and to make smart choices. But yet those are two things that go out the window when fears enters the mind. And you may ask yourself, are racers ever afraid? And if so, what? And the easy answer is yes. They're afraid of losing. It's one of our basic fears that, losing, poor performance, you look like an idiot, you're embarrassing yourself. If you've got sponsors, you let your sponsors down, you let your team down. So our fear of failure is an arch enemy, and it occurs in beginners and professionals alike. And I want to tell you guys from experience that if everybody has fear, everybody has anxiety, they have a certain level of anxiety. It's okay to have butterflies, but what you do with those butterflies is how you have to make sure your butterflies are all flying in formation, and you can use that fear and that anxiety to your advantage. So how do we eradicate the fear? And I'm going to be really brief here because I know we have other presenters, and I could go on for like an hour with this stuff. But really quickly, how do we eradicate fear? Fear, basically, people are scared of what they don't know, the unknown. Just think about your first day on course. If we were all going to a snowboarder cross race, and you saw the course set up with a bunch of features and jumps and high bank slalom turns, and you see that course from the lift chair, and you're like, wow, man, that looks pretty tough, but you don't know what it's going to feel like. You don't know how you're going to perform. So that anxiety and that fear starts to well up. Well, the only way to eradicate the anxiety and the fear is through making the unknown known. How do you make the unknown known? Well, you got to go and get time on your board. You got to ride. For me on motorcycles, it was seat time. I don't know what the motorcycles are going to do at the start. I don't know what the racetrack is going to feel like, what it's going to feel like going 200 miles per hour in a quarter mile. I don't know what it feels like in the beginning. But the more seat time that I got, the more I raced, the more I made mistakes, and the more I was able to get a chance to correct those mistakes. I started to eradicate the unknown, and I made the unknown the known, which actually dispersed the fear. It became like second nature. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, for us as snowboarders, the more we can ride, the more we can get on snow and experience all different types of terrain. And you can chime in with this. Uneven surfaces, going into the trees, going into the park, going down different hills, and going off some little jumps or different obstacles. All that kind of stuff, it sets you up to condition your body to be prepared to get on the racetrack.